Welcome to the George FTTV YouTube channel. Today we'll discuss the round 1 review for SuperCoach 2025. So we're back, and these reviews we'll do every week, every Sunday night or Monday, depending on when lockout opens. So that's always fun. So thanks to those that have subscribed in pre-season. And we have, if you want to get involved in our Discord community, every night we have voice chats which you can talk or just listen into. Myself, I'm usually in there. General discussion, like live chats during the week, chats, trade discussions, post your team suggestions, all that sort of stuff. So that's in the Discord. I know I pump Discord most weeks, but just trying to grow. So if you feel free to jump in there. The link is in the description. So it's a good community we've got going on. And I believe leagues are all, I think most of our leagues are in the top at the moment, but it's only 1 week, so that can flip. But we'll see. Look, for us, it was a pretty poor week. 30k rank. I mean, like 100 points off is probably in the top 5k, so it's not a massive difference, but you still want to put points on the board where you can. We left a few on the table, which is just annoying, but that's okay. So 2,127. I think fielded a Sullivan over Never and a Sheasel captain over TDK. I think those were the main blunders and a bit annoying, but I did make some changes to the team. Like, this was one of those years where usually I like to settle my team a few days before, and this was one where I just changed every day non-stop in the week leading up. So it's always a concern when you do that because you don't know where you're going to land. Like, I had Pau Pepper and Hugo Garcia in most of my drafts. I dropped them, so you win some. I had Perryman after his practice game in and eventually dropped him. So you win some, you lose some, but I probably got lucky at where I landed, to be honest. I guess the D7 spot, Leak, was sort of an accidental pick. I wanted to loop TDK, but when I was planning my trades, I didn't actually have money at the time. So I think I had Hugo Garcia in for a rookie, and I couldn't afford Bo Allen to loop. So I was like, She's was playing a weak midfield, depleted midfield in Dogs, and the midfield was actually pretty good without Bon Trelaw, but I was captain Sheasel. He should be safe for a ton, and he missed a few goals, but we'll take 106. But yeah, we left 42 points on the table there, and had to pick 119k, and I knew I was going to trade him anyway, so it's just a bit of a mess. But added Finlayson in. I think he gets dropped. He just, poor attitude, didn't want to defend. If you're a Port supporter, let me know what you thought of his game, because I think he conceded just an insane amount of goals. It would be almost double digits, I reckon, to Membry and Mycheck and whoever else. So he wasn't alone that game. Port lost by 90 points, but they were at sea, that defense, and Finlayson didn't really want to make a contest at all or chase or anything. So I think he gets dropped, to be honest, but I could be wrong. And no other late changes. Will Ashcroft, so disappointing. When your picks don't go well, you can you see why they didn't go well, but maybe you didn't think logically enough beforehand. Like, I added Finlayson in because the role was not bad. Like, he was key defender, but they were using him on offense. They were giving him the ball. He's on kick-ins. So if you're on kick-ins, like, how bad can it go at 300k and can intercept? But there's a multitude of problems with that pick that I saw on the weekend. So yeah, this year there was just so many traps and bait picks and high-priced players shitting the bed. You just had to minimize the damage and it feel like it wasn't who you had, it was who you didn't have, unless it was like a Dunkley or whatnot. But Perryman's probably the main one, pretty highly owned. You can see why Perryman didn't work in hindsight. They brought in a few more mids, and you look at preseason, and they were just giving him mid-time. Were they giving him mid-time to see what they can do, or were they giving him mid-time because they're trying to role play what they're going to do in actual games? And we saw that with Garcia as well. Had much higher CVAs, but yeah, there's just so much bait everywhere. It's insane. And maybe in hindsight, we had all these defenders like a Stewart or a Holmes for low 500s. Clark was a bit more. He was fine. Zorgo had an easy run. Like, he is 36, so I understand why you wouldn't pick him. We had like a bunch of options at low 500s that would have been fine. That, like, worst case, these guys like 95 most likely, and decent upside from there. So Instead, we'll like a Short, Roberts, and Perriman. Roberts made sense. Short, you could kind of see on paper, but he's never really been that guy. Richmond were bad last year, and he still didn't score that well. So, or in previous years. So, yeah. Will Ashcroft, I guess, you look at his game, 50% CBAs, and sort of just manifested it in my head. Like, okay, he looked really good. They have to put him in the midfield. Maybe he'll split third mid with McLuggage. No, he's clear fourth mid. They use McLuggage in their heaps. So, we'll do something about that this week. But yeah, we'll go through all the players and whatnot. Shiza was fine. I think it's an interesting fade. Like a 630 is very expensive. So you could have gone to like a Nas or one of the Geelong boys, save 100k and see what you do with that. I was quite happy to lock in a guy that's almost certainly going to be top 3 defender. It's like almost hard to see him not. And I guess a backup captain option, considering I wasn't taking a Sherry, and yeah, he was excellent. Jordy Clark was good. Got off to a good start. Slowed down a bit. So yeah, he's very efficient, and I think they're using Ryan less, and I reckon they'll use Clark more this year. They're using a bit of Wagner as well. But I think Clark will be a solid premium for us. Hopefully 105 plus. It's kind of all we ask for. And there might be the odd tag. I think next week he's got Sydney. Sydney have shown they can throw Haywood on a defender. I think Jordan goes to Sarong, but he could go to Clark. That could be very frustrating. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, spoke about Short. It depends what narrative you want to make up. So they started winning. He didn't score much in the second half, but to me he looked very tired. Didn't run out the game very well at all. Finished the game on the bench. Only had 12 touches outside of his 7 kick-ins, I think it was. And they were using a bit of Brown back there. Vlosten can retain the ball much easier because he intercepts, and Trezise is there too. I just don't see this like. Feels like a 90 best case. He stays for now. There's not much we can do, and I'd love to turn him into like another mid premium, but the structure just is telling us that you can't do that at the moment. There's too many money makers mid and forward. When we get to our trades, I'll try and I'll touch a bit more on structure, but it's probably a bit obvious to be honest, but we'll touch on that. I wouldn't worry about Roberts. Look like the kick-ins are all going to Blakey at the moment, but I think he's just solid, knows where to find the ball. I'm not sure he's going to be like a top 10 if he's on no kick-ins, but he does retain the ball from kick-ins. So I think he's a stress-free pick, to be honest, and he's one where we'll just, if it is a problem at some point, we'll see. But he's not one he's just sitting there, he's chilling, he's going to score. He might be a down game here and there, but I think he's fine. Scored 120 last week, so it's looking like a fine pick. Defenders are massive letdown, so I didn't want to pick many defenders to the point where I picked Short, who I didn't want. Yeah, I didn't want to pick premium defenders, and that meant that, rookies sort of dictate your structure for the most part, and I kind of said no to that. I wanted these value mids as well, so I think we need to fix this week, and I think we will. But yeah, Pryor and Reed, both really poor, I thought. Reed was very quiet. I think he was cramping up in the second half, I want to say. Didn't really see him. Very fumbly, but I think it's just one, blowing out the cobwebs games, because he made like his awareness and, fumbling was pretty poor, but I think he'll be better for it, like just getting used to it. Like he's barely played a game, so he'll be okay, I think, as long as he stays fit. Pryor just got cooked 1v1 over and over. With Ridley out, I think that probably helps them. That's more ball for the Essendon defenders. And most Essendon defenders, last year they did over 60. So hopefully these guys do 60 and make money. Leak, don't ask. Yeah, I explained why he's here, but he'll go out. I knew I was trading whoever's here. So he's playing sort of makeshift forward. And when Jesse's back, I think he's gone. Trainer 50, we can't ask for much more from Trainer. So he was fine, and he'll be a decent rook for us. A good roll back there. Midfield, just like it's fine. Like it was good. Will Ashcroft no good, but Rosie was good, 128, and yeah, he sticks out with how Richmond this week is nice. We got him for this nice run, but yeah, it just sticks out how hard him and Boak were trying, and a lot of the other players on that team weren't trying, I thought. But Andy 101, a little bit of attention from Mark. No, I think it was O'Connor. I don't think it was hard tag because we wasn't on him the whole time. But when you see O'Connor on him, you're kind of thinking, well, it's probably a tag. But 101 is fine. So Andy, I'm happy with, and I think he's got West Coast coming up. We just saw what the Gold Coast mids did to them. West Coast next week. Dogs at Optus. So with their injuries, so no, I'm happy with Andy, and 590 is kind of expensive, but I've always been okay paying a fair price, because when you bite off more than you can chew with underpriced guys, or technically underpriced guys like a Short or a Perryman. Some people might think Short's fine, that's okay, but your Perryman's clearly a massive problem with the CBA drop, so yeah, sometimes you're better off paying a bit more so you don't have to trade at all, whereas you can get caught in traps pretty easily when you go way too much value collectively. But I guess if you hit all the value, that's when you hit jackpot and you fly at the ranks, but you got to find the balance as well. So nothing wrong with a few fair price plays here and there, so I'm fine with that. Dawson was good, like DT, his DT was the same as a Bailey Smith. Oh yeah, we'll get to fading Bailey Smith when we get to the forward line. His DT was good. I feel like looking at BAZ's game was a bit lucky. Like a few of his kicks would miss kicks, and they kind of just dribbled to Geelong players were effective. Whereas Dawson had a few long kicks and sort of went over the people's heads and just found its way to the opposition. So I don't know if that's a clanger or ineffective. So I think that hurt his ratio a lot. Missed a few shots in front of goal as well, so I think that hurts. So, look, happy with Dawson. Copped a Winhager tag for all of the second quarter and half of the third before they realised, why are we tagging? We're down by 10 goals. Doesn't matter anymore. So Dawson was really good, and yeah, he's, I think, 60% CBA mid. I think that's what he'll be, maybe a little bit more. I'm fine with that because he scores a lot in transition, and he goes up for so many contested marks. So if he can just take a few of those, maybe 2 a game, that's probably a big ask to contest a game. But if you're making 10 contests a game, it's not out of the realm. So 1.5 a game, say, would be good. That can really prop up his scoring. Yeah, Rosie very good, as I said. Oliver 93. Stats don't look too bad. DT wasn't great. We still don't really know what Oliver is in terms of, he's better than last year. Probably not as good as peak Oliver. Pretty much admitted that himself when he said, I'm not fully back yet, but I feel better. So that's not one we're going to worry about. 93 is fine. Chera 106 didn't finish the game well. I don't think the CBAs were that high either. So, look, he's 447. He's not much. If he can just get to low 500s, and then while the other mids come down, I think that will be an easy swap. Fingers crossed. And then Will Ashcroft, disappointing. Picked the wrong Ashcroft, I guess. But, yeah. I think he'll do in the 90s. Now, the problem is I'm going to trade him this week, but he plays West Coast. So why would you trade him when he's got West Coast? It's because we're going to have issues next week. So we'll get to that soon. O'Driscoll 91, a great rook to have here. Sometimes pay up, it pays off. Sometimes it doesn't, like a Sardis and O'Sullivan, who's at our flex, and never we paid up for, and he was good, 82. Lucky, because he had 100 DT, so we could have been punished further for not fielding him. But yeah, it was 50-50 between O'Sullivan and Never, and you got to just look like, you got to use your brain with these rookie roulette picks. So Never, he was last on the bench, so I think in my psychic sort of thought potentially subbed off. I'm not sure, but they did have a few other guys that could have been subbed off. So yeah, his VFL numbers were really, really good, whereas O'Sullivan's numbers in juniors, like, he's a high talent prospect, but his numbers are not good. So why are we fielding a first year player over a third year player when the third year player has better numbers as well? It makes no sense. So that's a deserved loss, fielding O'Sullivan over Never. Bad call, but it's okay. yeah, O'Driscoll got a bit of mid-time as well, which was good, and I think that will continue until Young and Fife are back. Yeah, Elijah Sardis, I think the dilemma here is if you need to get Levi or another Rook, or you need money to do something else, like, I don't know, upgrade Perryman or something, can you get rid of Sardis? I think you could, especially if Parrish comes back after the bye. I'll be holding Sardis, but he's on watch. Was better in the second half. To me, like, I hate making calls on young players because I hope he goes well, but I don't see a future for him at AFL level based on the fact that he doesn't tackle, he never tackles, and he's can only play inside mid, and he's okay at dishing it out, but he's just got a lot of deficiencies. I can't kick either. That's a massive issue as well. He's got deficiencies that I don't know if they're fixable or not. So I think he can score okay and find the pill okay. But I think there's glaring deficiencies which are going to stop him from being a really good AFL player. I hope he proves me wrong, but yeah, I think they're going to persist with him certainly until the bye and then recess there. So I'm going to hold because I think he'll definitely make money and he's definitely can do 70 plus for sure. That being said, it was a bit of a worrying sign. So we're going to hold. We'll hold. If you need to get Levi and you've got no other avenue, I think I would do it though. Rookies were fine. I think Campo was a bait pick. Like, this is not... We should have gone a mature guy like a Hall, but I think we thought Camporelli's job security was good, whereas Hall wasn't 100% sure on. He's going to be very slow money, so he will be like... it'll be slow money. Hasty was good, 53, probably on track for 80-odd, but then got subbed. Really bad call from the St Kilda coach's box, I thought. Yeah, he was good, and I think Brad Hill and O'Connell... You probably couldn't sub. Someone made a point in Twitter. You can't sub O'Connell when they flew their family from Ireland over, I guess. But very stiff. He was pretty good. So using it well back there and finding it as well, finding the ball in the first half. I think he had 12 touches or something. So I was impressed with his game. And he's got the good intercepting capability and rebounding capability. So I think he's going to be a really good player for them. And he's got a future there. I think he's better than Ari Schoenmaker. But I don't know why they subbed him when Hill and O'Connell had, I think, 4 touches between them at halftime. So it's whatever. Never was really good. A lot of tackles, bad ratio. So no, he's good. Never. It'll be a good look for us. And he looks like he's part of their centre bounce rotation. I think it was about 50%. So yeah, he was good. And looking at the forward line, so no Bailey Smith. Just cop it. It was a very bad call. It was an overthinking call and. A lot of hindsight, people saying, why would you fade BAZ? And fair enough, that's okay. I mean, I thought he was going to play more wing and the CBAs wouldn't be good. The CBAs weren't good as well. They were in the 20s, but just sort of played everywhere around the ball. And he's got that work rate that you forget easily. There's few players that probably train harder than Bailey Smith. He's got the history of, in the draft, where if he had a poor game, he'd start doing 100-metre sprints up and back to punish himself. Back in the day, so he's got that work ethic ingrained into him, and he looks really fit. 85% tog. Have to get him this week. Have to just I can't anti-pod this. It's not worth it. So a big part of the rank copping it really badly was having no Bailey Smith. So that's all right. So Horn Francis is interesting. The mid-clock wasn't there, I don't think. We were thinking he's going to get more mid-time with Butters out, but I don't think that happened. What am I talking about? It's 77%. For some reason, I thought he had lower than that, so forget what I just said. So the mid-time was there, so... Actually, it was a 5AA caller. 5AA is our local radio station in South Australia. Someone said... They played Horn Francis too much in the forward line. So, without checking, looks like he did. So, look, Horn Francis will be fine. They got absolutely annihilated. So, that's all good. In terms of F1, it's interesting who's going to be F1. But, Rankin was really good. Heaps of mid-time today. I think the CBAs were in the 30s. And I think that's what I've I know he had massive CBAs in the practice game. But that's not real. Matt Crouch is going to get the most. and then Dawson, and then Saligo probably, and then Rankin and Peatling. And maybe if Draper breaks the team, he'll be there too. So, yeah, Rankin was really good. Like 128, kicks goals, just a star player, and looks every bit a top 6 forward at this early stage. It looks like we'll get Rowan Marshall and Chad Warner, potentially Sam Draper as well, who's been playing really well, but probably not really going to be top 6 with splitting ruck times. But it's an interesting one. Just ruck split won't be great, but yeah, Jack McRae, 20, I think it was 23 or 26 contested. Just crazy stuff. So, yeah, it's good to see he's still got it, man. Like, that this is his role. I've been saying this for years. Like, Libba's actually got his true role. They're in and under, handball, bottom of the pack, dishing it out. That's Jack McRae, and inside, outside, using it well too. So he's been like one of the best prototype midfielders we've ever had in SuperCoach, like Mount Rushmore levels. So, yeah, it's funny. I wonder if he pushes top 8 mid, but I think Saint's got a bit of a problem where you look at Hugo Garcia, like, just on Hugo Garcia, I really like the pick. I did get cold feet when I saw the practice game because I looked at the TOG in the 60s, and then when the team sheets came out, Hunter Clark and Zach Jones came in, and Sinclair was named in the middle, and they had about 8 defenders, not including Sinclair. So or maybe it was 7. So I was looking at that, I was thinking, well, Steele has to play full mid, McRae has to play full mid. There's going to be other blokes running through the mid-time. Plus bad TOG. It's a recipe for disaster. If his TOG was like 75 and his CBAs were like 40% or maybe 50%, I think he can do 75, 80, but I think that's all going well. And I think there's a chance he might get subbed out if they're going to use Hunter Clark as the sub, who's a bit underdone. So, yeah, in hindsight, you can see how it was a trap. Even though he looked good in the CBAs, were good in the practice game. But the red flags were kind of there, and I probably should have been a bit harsh on this because I said in another video, I dropped Garcia, but I think he'll go well. I should have said, well, there's clear warning signs here, and it's hindsight now. But look, it is what it is. I like him as a prospect a lot. I think he'll have a great career, but it's just very hard with the role and TOG at the moment. So yeah. Horn Francis, Rankin, McRae just need BAZ to round out the 4, and then we're chilling, plus Caleb Daniel. That's all good. Yeah, Finlayson, I think he gets dropped, so I think we're going to trade this week. It's a great matchup, so I'm going to trade Will Ashcroft and Finlayson. It's less about these 2 players and more about who's coming in, because we have to get Levi, we have to get BAZ, we have to fix the league. So we're going to do that this week. Yeah, Will's got a great matchup versus West Coast, and then Finlayson's got a great matchup versus Richmond. So it's just the wrong week, but then again, we'll see what happens with Finlayson. Looked very gassed in the fourth quarter, so yeah. I think they kind of stopped using him in the fourth. Like, they didn't pass to him just probably because of how poorly he was playing. But yeah, Daniel, we're just like not even going to think about this. Like, just if he's not top 6, we'll look at that way down the track. Davidson, 39, disappointing. Thought we'd get a bit more from a debut, but yeah, they rate him highly, and yeah, just hopefully takes along. Hold this spot, makes money. Hewitt's an interesting one. He shows a lot of good signs, but I think his tank must be far off, and yeah, 52 is okay. Had a few poor touches early, but I think he led West Coast for clearances. I wonder if the CBAs are up for this game. This game I was sort of half watched. Yeah, 23%. That's okay. That's all good. I didn't touch on my Rucks either. We'll touch on that in a sec. Look, I think he'll be a decent Rook for us, and I think he's a talent that they pretty much have no choice but to play. Might get managed here and there, but yeah, a bit of an injury risk too. But I think he's had a good preseason nonetheless. And yeah, Finn O'Sullivan, very frustrating trap pick. Barely even noticed him. He'll be a good player, just not a good SC pick this year. So Rux is interesting this year. Probably a bit lucky. Sherry and Gawn didn't have the greatest DT to SC ratios. I feel like Sherry could have absolutely killed us. Same with Gawn this week with their matchups. But that's the thing. We were prepared to cop the hit this week, and then the run gets a little bit harder. Like Sherry and Gawn play each other, and I think there's like an Essendon in there somewhere. I think it's around 8 actually for Sherry. Probably want him by then, but that's fine. And not only that, running a TDK plus a Ruck, like a premium Ruck plus a Flynn, it means we're sort of locked into flex where we can't make moves. So I didn't really think about that too much, but when I was playing with trades just before I started the video, I was thinking, yeah, this is actually quite kind of nice. I can actually do some stuff here rather than be completely locked into that. So that's good. But yeah, TDK outstanding, and yeah, solo Ruck. A hand was forced when Pitney went down. And Flynn was fine. I think he spent a lot of time forward late in the game. Gave Archerita a good spell in the Rucks, but that's okay. 87 in the width is, I think, he's 211 centimeters. Very hard to win taps against our Jerome Whittler. So yeah, I think that the team's okay. Like, who killed us this week? I think Zorko and BAZ killed us pretty much. Rankin's not that highly owned. I think it's in the low 20s, his ownership. So it was kind of good to have him. So, yeah, trades this week. Must get Levi, must get BAZ. Must fix D6 before we have more issues next week. So this is what I'm thinking. I'd like to hold. If my structure wasn't so bad, I would hold Will for one more. But I have to fix this. So we're gonna grab DeConning. I think you can wait on DeConning. I don't think it's a trap because he finds a lot of peel around the ground. We saw last year, if you're getting 20 touches a game, and the Ruck split wasn't brilliant. I wonder if we can check. Oh, I have a feeling we need premium to see that. Maybe not. Okay, Geelong. Okay, so it's like a... Shannon Neal took a lot of rucks. Only rucked 40% of the time. The thing is, what was it last year? It's down on last year. I have to discuss this and speak about this with a few people. It kind of just solves issues. I was really impressed with his game, and he was able to find the pill around the ground. Even in the back half, was getting involved in chip mark, which a bit of Tim English there. So I think he can do 90 plus in this role. His ratio was quite bad as well. Probably a bit lucky that he only scored the 109. Could have been more in terms of not owning him. Let me know what you think of DeConing. It kind of just solves my issue. So, like, Will Ashcroft to DeConing kind of feels a little bit bad, but he just, solves backline issues. In the midfield, it has to be Levi. There's just no choice. Just get him now. Save the time. And then that gives us enough money for Bailey Smith. I haven't really played with much else. I guess we didn't actually need flex, but I think we can... Yeah, it means we can play Never. That's all good. So we've got heaps of midfielders. So we're actually locked into mids at the moment. But that's okay. Can make it work. So that means I like 3 defender rookies. I've put my hand up. This is the wrong structure. I kind of liked 4 defender rookies just because I liked so many other picks, but it was a wrong call. So defense is fine. I don't like short here, and structure's good. Even if you had like a better D6, would be good. But it's not going to matter with best 18. So we can field... I think we'll field Sardis this week. It's probably going to drop off. I didn't touch on Stone. His game was pretty disappointing, to be honest. Does some good things, but does fumble a fair bit. It was wet. So I think the team looks a little bit better now. A bit more well-structured. So we're going to boost this week. Fingers crossed we don't boost next week, but we'll look at Max Hall and Xavier Lindsay next week, and we'll get another look at our rookies to see if we need to replace any of them with these ones. So Finn O'Sullivan most likely will go to Max Hall next week. I think just bank the 80k. He'll make way more money than Finn O'Sullivan, and we could turn a short into a Whitfield. That being said, should we be using our money to get rookies off the field or turn our mid prices into premiums at this stage? It's a tough question because we're going to need the ceiling scores during the buys, but once the buys are done, we're going to still be fielding an extra rook. So I guess it depends on the difference between Short and Whitfield. I think Whitfield can put 30 on him a game. If Short does like mid-80s or 90, Whitfield... I don't know if Whitfield does at 120, but he did that post-buy last year. So maybe it's more like 20, 25 a game, or 20-ish he puts on him. We'll see. So look, we'll have a quick look at rooks, I guess. Or I wonder if we can search by break-even yet. Oh, so Corey Warner would be a good one to get. We can't get him. Ned Long's 200k. What did he score? Oh, he scored 113. I think I trust Levi. Okay, I didn't really notice this. This was the game where there was 2 games at once, so... Collingwood. Oh, 71. It's VFL numbers. Did this guy play for Hawthorn? Oh, we can't do SuperCoach. Forgot. It's DT. I mean, it's VFL. 92 in VFL. Not enough for 200k. No for me. I'll just keep it simple. Costanzi's there. Max Hall's there. In terms of their pace going up. So yeah, Ethan Reid, I think he turned up, but it was against West Coast. I mean, I guess it depends on the break even. It's 109 in the first game as well, or it's got 100 in the first game. So that means that'll come out of his system pretty quick. They have a nice run though. Stone was kind of disappointing, to be honest. We're not going to trade him as a buy. Yeah, Patton got subbed out. At least he'll make a little bit of money straight up, so that'll be okay. What did Lindsay score? He was really good. 86. I think his DT was better. Jack Ross. Nod was good. Henderson, I think he played forward, kicked a snag early. I think we trust Levi though. 185. I think we just get him in, be done with it. Field him every week. And Lions. I wanted a Lions mid, and I guess we'll settle for Levi as our mid. Would love Dunkley. Insane pick, but no, I can't do it. So look, that's how the team looks. I think the team's fine. It's just we're a bit behind that. We've left 100 points on the table basically, and made a few bad picks. So we'll look at Lindsay and Hall and any other rookies next week. And I don't think I want to correct any other premiums. Comfortable with everyone in the forward line. Comfortable with the midfield. Just not really happy with Short. And Phil de Koning's a little bit speculative, and he can drop a poor game even though he accumulates. But yeah, I was just really, really impressed with his around the ground work. Just I feel like he was everywhere. So yeah, so here we go. Anyway, that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I hope you had a good week. And yeah, if not, then yeah, things can turn quick. Make a few value plays, and things can turn around. So yeah, it's only round 1, 23 weeks to go. That's like September, which is bloody March now. It's just so long, or end of August. It's so much time to go. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.